Yo guys, what is good? You've got Techno here, your coach of the Carolina Pantherians, and today we're here with something a little bit different than the usual. Now, today we're actually here with our March Madness 2018 play. So, for those of you who don't know what March Madness is, it is a tournament hosted every year, along with its sister Summer Showdown by the TokenMinorities, and it's that time again for March Madness, obviously. And yeah, so basically what it is, it's a humongous tournament where so many people from the community come to play with each other. 8 Mons. And there are two different types of, okay, I'll just explain this first. So you can either play in the open pools, or you can be selected for an all-star pool by one of your leagues that you are in. And if you're in the open pools, you have to go through. Sorry, I got immediately interrupted, but there you can be in a combination of 3 pools, or not 3 pools. What am I saying? You're in one open pool. Sorry, I'm out of breath from something really quick that I just did. So yeah, you can be in one open pool, and then if you make it out of your open pool, which you have to be one of the top 2 teams in your pool of 5 to do, then you move on to a second pool, which has those top teams. Then you have to be in your top 2 again, and then brackets happen. So it's all a pretty vigorous experience, but I think it's pretty worth it in the end. And then in that bracket, you can be combined with some all-star players and stuff. So it's all really cool. I am indeed in the open pool because I did not decide to go for any of the spots that my leagues were offering for the all-star pools. Because, by the way, this is one of my favorite events of the year, honestly. This and Summer Showdown are just such great events in the Pokemon community, and they're always very fun. The reason I didn't participate in all-star pool this time around is because I didn't have the best showing in All-Star last time. I went 3-2, and I only lost a game to a misclick, but I didn't want to have to do that again. Yeah, we didn't even make brackets, which was pretty stupid, but what can you really do about that? That's just kind of how it works. It's pretty cutthroat in these pool things. So I decided I'd just be an open pool, try to ease it out. And honestly, in open pool, there's a lot of newer players, so you can get a lot of better drafts. So I decided in the long run, this will be better. I have to play a lot more games, but I should still be fine. So you guys can see my team right here. Just absolutely broken bullshit. I got Celesteal at pick 1. Then it went all the way back to me, and Kieran Black and Medicham were not taken. So just got all that. Then I just got some nice support mons. I think these are all really nice support mons in general, especially not Greninja. Obviously, Greninja is a really good part of this offensive core I have going, but the rest are just nice support mons. Get up rocks and then defog them away, rapid spin them away. So very excited for this. Now, just a little bit of a forewarning. I'm not going to be showing any team builders for this run of my games. I'm just going to be explaining the mons I have in the game. So sorry about that, but it should be all right. Anyways, here we go with our first game of our pool. Alright guys, so here we are with our first game of the pool, round 1 versus Irazvan and whatever. I don't really know this guy. I only really know one person in my pool, so that's pretty cool. I get to play a lot of new players, get to see a lot of unfamiliar faces, which is pretty nice with me. So you guys can see, this man has a team of Jirachi, Chandelure, Umbreon, Mega Gardevoir, Virizion, and Gligar. Now, like I said, I don't really want to get too in depth on my EVs because some of these teams don't even have on my computer right now. While others I'm just too lazy. Yeah, you guys can see I have Greninja. This is a full physical set. I believe I had Waterfall, U-Turn, Gunk Shot, and I want to say Night Slash. Then we have Celesteela. This is a specially defensive set with Berry to make sure I take on the Gardevoir. Regular offensive Medicham. We've got nice Stealth Rock Diancie with Trick Room, Max Attack, Max HP, minus Speed Kyurem to go with that Trick Room because that really just destroys this whole team. And then we have Scarf Rotom. So looking at this team matchup, you guys are going to see, I've decided I will lead off with my Rotom to make sure that I'm able to, well, let me just actually restart that just so that it looks more clean. I lead off with my Rotom, predicting either a Rachi lead or a Chandelure lead, and I want to see if I could try to scare him out. However, I do realize after that I'm probably not going to be able to kill this thing with a Shadow Ball, so I'm just going to switch it out into my Diancie, who's going to take the Shadow Ball like it's absolutely nothing, and I get some leftovers back, so those leftovers are already really nice, and I can just get out my rocks. The only way of removing them is going to be the Gligar, so that's really nice with me. I like pressuring in the Gligar. because it makes a lot of my mons have a much easier time. So here he goes into the Umbreon as I Volt Switch with my Rotom, and I go right to Medicham now. Um, here's something that I'm gonna kind of like leave out there for the entirety of this tournament. I know I have to make very aggressive plays with Medicham. Now, I've never used Medicham before. Mega Medicham. I definitely used regular Medicham, which I've done very well with. However, Mega Medicham I've never used before. So I know I need to make some really good aggressive plays with this thing to make sure that it is like able to do its best. And so, first play I wanted to make with this is I know either Chandelure or Gligar is coming in. By a normal player's means, that is the correct switch. Therefore, I'm sure he knows that I'm likely going to predict that and go for probably a Ice Punch or a Zen Headbutt or something like that. So what I'm actually just going to do is I'm just going to stay in and I'm going to Drain Punch. And we'll see how this works. He actually does stay in and I Drain Punch. So that's our first big play with Medicham. Really nice play on our parts to be able to just get rid of this Umbreon really quick. It goes Gligar. I don't want this thing to be like Yachi Acrobatics or some annoying shit, so I just go into my Celesteela as, yeah, he just defogs. So, not really sure why I did that, because I could have just easily Ice Punched, but, you know, you do you. He's going to knock off my Macomberry, which is fine. I still take a Thunderbolt pretty easily from the Gardevoir. It does leave me, like, decently low, but I'm alright. You guys can see there, I also just Earthquake, predicting the Chandelure or the Jirachi to come in, and it is a pretty good play on our part, so very nice to see that that has happened. So, now look at this. I know he's probably just going to go for an Electric type move. I'm fine with that. I can just Leech Seed, get off a little bit of recovery, and now I just realized, okay, he's just going to go for another Electric type move so I can go into my Rotom, and I believe on this turn I just go for a Shadow Ball. I'm trying to get a little bit of damage on Gligar, even though it doesn't do that much because Gligar is very fat. And now I just go right back into my Celesteela. I could have gone into my Kyurem, however, I didn't want to waste my Z right away. And he goes Virizion, predicting my Leech Seed, and then he just SDs up. So SD Virizion is definitely pretty threatening versus my team, especially considering Heavy Slam doesn't do that much to it. I just changed the speed, by the way, just because it was bothering me how fast it was going earlier. So now he's just going to Leaf Blade me right here, as I'm just going to Heavy Slam again. I thought that him going for CC was fine, and here I'm just going to make an unnecessary stunt play. This was really stupid on my part. I really thought that he'd just be able to knock it out with the Shadow Ball, but that's actually not how it's going to go. So here I'm like, okay, I'll just Volt Switch and go right back into my Celesteela, which, you know, I probably should have just killed this thing, or just tried to go for the kill right away, but instead I just look like, I guess, a Flexor. I don't know. I really just look pretty stupid, honestly, for making that play. And I'm really glad I changed the speed, because this is much easier to commentate now. But yeah, so now I know I'll be able to kill this thing off with my Greninja, because I am a Life Orb max attack Greninja, so U-turn is just going to kill this thing right away here. No chance in hell was he living that attack. And now I'm just going to be able to go into my Rotom, as this thing is looking like it's going to be able to pressure everything. Gligar comes in and I'm like, perfect. This is where I can trick this thing and make it not a threat anymore. Because once this thing's tricked, I know I'm like totally good to go. So he just knocks me off. And I'm like, okay, so this means that I'll be able to go like right into my Diancie. I could have gone into my Kyurem, but like I said, I'm trying to get that Trick Room up before I go into it. So that's something I want to keep in mind. Here, he's going to go into his Gardevoir, and I'm like, okay, well, now it's just a time that I can Trick Room, and then get up my rocks if I want to, and then I can just drop in my boy Kyurem and see just what happens from there. So, I lagged out right there. Oh, and I'm still lagging, and you guys can see, he actually had HP Steal on this thing. I thought that was a pretty interesting bring, but luckily, in this scenario, it actually helps me a lot more, because this means that the Diancie will go down, and I'm just able to drop in Big Bad Kyurem. Now, I could have Shadow Clawed and been able to kill this thing, however, I just wanted to pop the Z move, and I don't know why I'm like lagging so bad right now. So yeah, I just wanted to pop the Z move. So that's totally cool. Now the Gligar is just going to come right on in. I have the Ice Beam for this thing, and Gligar is just going to drop right away. And now he just has 2 more mons that will die to Shadow Claws each. So good game to Razvan. Definitely put up a pretty good fight. Tried to make that aggressive play with the Umbreon, but I did capitalize on that and made sure that my Medicham was able to stay in and just kill that thing off. So this was definitely a pretty solid battle. By the way, that Fire Blast never killed. No way in hell. But yeah, Dragon Claw's gonna come out there, Shadow Claw, and that thing is gonna die. So yeah, good game to Razvan. We are now 1-0 +4, and yeah, I'll see you guys at the next. Okay, so here we are at our second battle, and this time it is versus Weeb, yet another player I don't know, so I'm definitely pretty excited to play him. And you guys can see this is not an easy team to try to face. He has the Tapu Koko, Weavile, um, Hawlucha, Blastoise, Nidoqueen, and Linoone. Now, after the tournament ended, the first thing I said was in the tournament feedback page that Lucha and Koko should have a definite nerf or a tax. Unburden and Terrain just are way too broken together. Not broken, but for the prices you can get them at, I think that there's definitely a need to increase the prices quite a bit. But that's neither here nor there, I guess. The point is that Lucha and Koko on his team, along with the other threats he has, is very scary. So I brought a pretty cool team this time. I brought Scarf Serena to make sure that the Linoone is no longer a threat, as well as the Weavile because of my ability Queenly Majesty. I have Donphan with Yachi Berry able to come in on quite a few things and just get off the Rapid Spin and the Stealth Rocks. I think I was Rapid Spin on this. I might have been. I have Defensive Celesteela for the Weavile, and also possibly the Nidoqueen and the Hawlucha if I need it. I have Medicham with Fake Out and Bullet Punch to make sure that I'm able to kind of check off or beat down some of his more fast mons that are already like pretty fast versus me. For example, the Koko, really nice versus that. Let's see, what else did I have? Sorry, just checking something really quick. I have a really weird Kyurem set with like sub and life orb and shit. Um, yeah, so oh yeah, and I have the defensive Rotom. Sorry, I was just checking something really quickly. My bad. Oh my god, my commentary sucks right now. Anyways, I've got a defensive Rotom with Clover Berry to make sure that the Hawlucha isn't that big of a threat versus me with the Throat Chop, and then I just Wallace Dual Stab. So, we're going to see. I'm just going to lead right off with my Medicham as he's going to lead with the Koko, and I'm like, oh, fuck. Koko is just already a huge threat to me, so I'm just going to have to Fake Out right here and then go right into my Rotom, which I don't like. I don't like having to take damage on the Rotom right away. But alas, that is what we were just going to have to do as the U-turn's going to come out. And he's not going to take Life Orb, so I'm like, okay, that's totally fine. And the Weavile comes out. Now, I make kind of a stupid play here. I wouldn't say stupid, but I expect a Pursuit here. I really expect that a Pursuit will be coming out right here. So I decided I'll just capitalize on that and just Volt Switch. But no, it just knocks me off. And he's banded out the asshole. But I don't think I realized that it was banned until next turn. So now my Rotom's weakened, so I need to find an opportunity to rest, or else I'm kind of fucked. And I know that Donphan will be able to take 2 knockoffs, so I'm just going to set up my Stealth Rocks on this thing. And I also, I kind of make a really dumb play here. Not really dumb, but go for Play Rough, expecting maybe the Hawlucha to try to be cheeky and come in. It wasn't really a bad play, but it wasn't a great play either. Because, yeah, now that happens, and now I'm like, okay, I just gotta sack my Rotom and hope that my other mons can do it. Because I'm already in a pretty weird position. But I actually went into this because I knew he'd try to Rapid Spin or something. And I'm sorry I'm lagging so bad, I don't know what that's about. But, yeah, so here he goes into Nidoqueen. And I'm like, okay, so either he gets up his rocks or I get a rest off. And I'm like, either of them I'm totally cool with. If he killed me and didn't get his rocks up, that'd be fine with me. If he didn't kill me and I got the rest off, I was totally cool with that too. So yeah, so now, but the unfortunate part of this is now he's just kind of getting up some hazards that I don't like, and I'm just trying to burn some sleep turns here because I do kind of need this thing to be not asleep versus I'm on like the I don't know, like the Hawlucha and the Koko. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm just gonna keep sleep talking, and I get a Shadow Ball here. Annoying but like manageable, because what this means is I'll just be able to go into our defensive Celesteela, and I will just be able to kill or take a hit and then be able to kill this thing off with an Air Slash. So now my Celesteela and my Donphan are very weakened. However, I still think there's a pretty good shot for me to win this game with some of my mons I have, specifically the Scarf Serena. I think that's probably the best shot I have at winning this game. But yeah. So now the Koko's gonna come in. I just protect here because why not? And yeah, he just goes for Dazzling Gleam, and I'm like, okay, so he doesn't U-turn or anything here, so I'm thinking he might be a Scarf Koko. There's definitely a chance for that, so I'm just gonna go Medicham. Fake Out plus Bullet Punch will knock this thing out from here. So I'm just gonna go right for that, and I Fake Out the Nidoqueen, and I'm like, okay, Medicham is the king of Pokemon. I'm sure from this range, an Ice Punch will be able to take it out, and lo and behold, Medicham is obviously just so good, so powerful. I love this thing. I learned this tournament just how much I just fucking love this Pokemon. It's amazing.
But yeah, so now I'm just gonna go into my Kieran Black. I realize I don't need it. It's kind of useless versus a lot of his team because the Linoon can set up on this thing to an extent because I don't know my Z move, and the Hawlucha just beats me anyways. So Kieran's gonna come in, and the Dazzling Gleam is just going to knock me out in two. I do take it pretty well for the first time, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, now Metacham's gonna come in. It's the same fake out shenanigans. As he's actually gonna go into Blastoise this time, and no electric terrain, so I felt pretty safe with just faking out. Um, and now I'm like, okay, cool. High jump kick kills. Ice punch doesn't kill. Bullet punch doesn't kill. So I got a high jump kick, but I miss, and that is wildly unfortunate because that means Metacham is now gone and I lose my priority. So I'm like, oh fuck. So now it's not looking like this will be a win for me anymore. So I just gotta go Serena and kind of pray. I go for the play rough because I don't know. It just kind of felt like maybe he'd be cheeky and go Hawlucha. I can't let Hawlucha come in anyways. Uh, and yeah, so now Tapu Koko comes in, and I'm like, well, even if he is Scarf, I don't have a switch in. I still think I'm fine versus this, so I'm just gonna play rough again. And what this means is I'm actually now, like after this poison damage, I'm out of range to where rocks would kill me. So that's very important. You guys are gonna see. I get the attack drop too, which is really nice. Not that nice, but definitely helps me a little bit. So here, he's gonna go for acrobatics. I'm still asleep with my Rotom. Uh, and by the way, I brought this set because you obviously can't go to sleep in the electric terrain. However, I am a levitating mon, so yeah, I knew I was gonna be able to sleep in the electric terrain anyway, so totally cool with that. So yeah, now I'm just going to Volt Switch there as the Hawlucha is just going to go down. Donphan is going to come in. Donphan does not allow any setup opportunities. Donphan also allows me to try to get off a rapid spin if I want to versus the Linoon. So the Tapu Koko is going to come out, and I know this thing's Scarfed, and so Dazzling Gleam's going to come there, and I know my Rotom can take it from here. So here, what I'm really scared of is a sub Belly Drum Linoon. I don't think that'll come versus me. I think it's set more like Belly Drum, maybe like a Natural Gift or like a Shadow Claw or Thief or something. Extreme Speed, obviously, and then whatever else he wants to run. I just don't think it would be Shadow sub versus my team because my team is very naturally offensive, so sub didn't make that much sense versus me, especially because Rotom still beats it. So what I do here is I actually just Volt Switch, or I actually just, well, I don't Volt Switch, I go for the Shadow Ball because basically what that allows me to do is it means that if he were to go for Shadow Claw and I were to just switch, be faster, and then go into my Serena, that would be a humongous choke. So instead I just Shadow Ball because I know now my Serena is going to come in. I'm Scarfed, I have the HJK, and I am just going to bop this motherfucking Linoon. Goodbye, out my face. GG to Weeb. Crazy good game versus him. I definitely don't expect these good games in Pool 1. But that was absolutely crazy. So very props to him. Now the fake out and the high jump kick miss versus the Blastoise was definitely pretty crucial to how close this game was. However, I do think that still he did play very well. So kudos to him. And yeah, so now we're 2-0 plus 5, and I will see you guys at the next battle. Alright, so in this game we were up against Colin, also known as Cool Me Down B, and this was the only person in our pool that I actually knew beforehand. Like, I didn't just meet, so that's pretty cool. I knew him from the IBL. We've played a couple of times before. I've won, like, most of the time, but, like, at the same time, he's, like, won once versus me, so that'll be a pretty interesting game to see, considering just how much we haven't played each other and how long we haven't done it either. And he has a pretty scary draft. That's a Sheer Force Lando Eye that you guys see on the screen right there, so obviously really, really threatening. However, he does have mons like the Wobbuffet, and I knew the Wobbuffet would come because he probably thinks it's a counter to my Medicham, but I am packing the text on this thing, so I think that this battle just better explains itself, so let's just get right into it. I'm going to lead right off with my boy, the Medicham. I'm just going to lead with Medicham, because I felt like it would just do really well versus so much of his team. And here, I'm going to just go right for the HJK. I know a Leaf Storm wouldn't kill me, and HJK would likely, or Ice Punch would likely just kill off the Superior in a lot of scenarios. And you guys are going to see I just sub here. Now, sub is really nice for the Wobbuffet, however, it's not great because he can obviously just Encore me. So that's like not great because he can Encore me, then counter me, and if he's like a berry that like a super citrus berry and he gets like around here, which he definitely can with my ice punch damage, and goes all the way back up, I lose my Medicham. So that can't happen. I can't talk. I wanted to bring toxic, but at the same time I didn't. just because it seemed like it would be a lot less useful than the move I have right here. I'm going to Baton Pass this Substitute, and this is a great mechanic of Baton Pass, that if you do it with a Substitute, you're also able to get your substitute passed along with the thing. I Dark Pulse here, and it just bops the Wobbuffet. And now we have a Gren behind us up. You guys see his team is just fucking destroyed by this thing. Chainsaw Joey comes out here. I have HP Fire. We're just going to click that here. Hidden Power Fire is going to come out, and Chainsaw Joey takes a fat ton from that thing. And he just U-turns out right there. So that's pretty cool. Means that Greninja is able to just weaken that thing off like really nicely. Leafy, the superior, comes in, but I know I can't kill with the Greninja, so I just go right into my Celesteela. This will take a Leaf Storm and a Hidden Power Fire, because Celesteela is pretty bulky, obviously. And the Hidden Power Fire, you guys are going to see, just bounces off, so it's 36%, which is absolutely nothing. However, Celesteela is a little bit passive, or not passive, but like weaker when it's not offensively invested. Offensively invested, it is a monster. And I'm not Z Celesteela, however, that doesn't mean that this thing is any less of a monster. But yeah, so here he's +4, so I'm like, okay, Hidden Power Fire is coming out here, so I'm just gonna make an aggro play, go right into my Gren. He gets a crit, which is alright. Means I'm closer to my torrent, so I'm cool with that. And he sacks off his only form of good priority anyways, so that's alright with me. And now I'm gonna Dark Pulse here on the Empoleon, just my smartest play. Because Dark Pulse is able to just do enough damage to the point where even if he's Chople, Medicham always kills with an HJK, so that's good. Gonna bring in my boy Medicham. Medicham's just such a fucking savage. Just gonna kill with the HJK right here. I actually just sub here because I thought if we wanted to switch out, this would be like an alright play. In theory, it was just kind of like risky, and yeah, I missed an HJK. So now my Medicham has only died to HJK misses, so that's pretty fun. I love when my mons die to missing moves. But yeah, so here I'm like, okay, I can just go Donphan, I guess, and I probably outspeed, and yeah, I did. I knew he'd probably be Chople, considering he stayed in, even though that's kind of dumb, because it's always an outspeed anyway. So here I have Sturdy still, so or a kill anyways, I should say. I have Sturdy anyway, so I just Earthquake. There's a lot to the Manaphy, and here I know he's gonna like surf or Rain Dance or something like that. So I just go for the Kyurem switch. I go for Dragon Claw, and Dragon Claw is definitely gonna kill based on the Earthquake damage. And now in comes I'm Smiling, the Landorus, and you guys are gonna see he goes for Rock Polish. I'm like, okay, so if he Focus Blast, that's the only way he kills my Kyurem here. And lo and behold, he does have it, so that's totally cool. That just means that Donphan, the boy, can come back in, and I Ice Shard twice, and I pick up this W versus Colin. So GG to Colin. Pretty nice game overall. I think that this was our most the other one, the 4-0 win was pretty dominant too, but this was a nice win for us to get. So now we are 3-0 plus, I want to say, 8. Yeah, we're 3-0 plus 8, and this basically locked us to getting out of our round 1 pool. However, there was still one more game, and we wanted to play upset, so I definitely wanted to make sure that I also was able to have like a nice seed overall, because that will definitely affect the bracket. So we're just going to keep going, and yeah, I'll see you guys at the final battle of our round 1 of pools. Okay, so in our final game of our pool, we are up against DS Gaming YT, and you guys can see his team right here. This is pretty spooky. He's got Veil, Webs, and Celesteela, Rotom, Zygarde, and the Swellow. So this is obviously a very threatening team. Now, this is another team that I don't really remember like my sets that well because it was on my other computer that I don't actually have anymore because I traded it for this better computer. But I believe that my sets were like Scarf KB. I think I was Scarf. I was probably Scarf. And I think I have Shuka, Spadef, Diancie. I'm pretty sure. Got a nice Spadef. No, it was something like that. I've got a more defensive Celesteela. I think I have, I want to say Scarf Rotom versus this team. I have regular Medicham, then I just have like Rapid Spins, Donphan, and stuff. So I decide I'm just going to lead off with my Celesteela now. He leads off with the Rabombi. This is why I needed one of my 2 hazard removers, because if he was Focus Sash, I needed something that could just easily get rid of this. I had to check out some stuff too. I had to see if this thing gets like Endeavor and stuff, but it doesn't. So I was like, okay, so Heavy Slam's pretty free here. I think that'll be alright. It'll knock him down to a Sash, and then he can do whatever from there. Still has a Rabombi in the back, which is kind of annoying versus mons like my Kyurem. But overall, that's like totally fine with me. So what I can do here is I can just Heavy Slam. And you guys are going to see I Heavy Slam as he goes for the HP Fire, just 27%, and Heavy Slam just goes the Rabombi. So no webs, which is nice, and just a little bit of damage off on my Celesteela. So we take those. Now on this turn, I'm like, okay, so I don't want to risk anything too big right here. I'm just going to Leech Seed up, because 1,000 arrows, before he actually goes for the 1,000 arrows, won't be able to do like that much to me. And I just HP Ice there. He could have been a weakness policy, but I wasn't that afraid of that, because I still have like a couple of ways I can deal with it in the back. And he goes Rotom, kind of make a play into my Donphan, which probably wasn't the smartest, because Rotom was fairly obvious. However, it's still like fine. It's not like an awful play. I go right back to Celesteela because I really thought he'd just Leaf Storm, but no, he Volt Switches. So that's a good play. But what I do realize is that nothing else is going to be able to pressure me that well. So he goes for Autotomize with the Celesteela, because I'm going to Leech Seed. Shiny Celesteela looks very cool, by the way. Kind of like bummed out that I didn't actually use that instead of my regular Celesteela. And you guys are going to see Fire Blast, and it does very little compared to how much you usually see. And I don't know why I'm still lagging, but yeah, so the Fire Blast, my Fire Blast is going to do nothing because I don't land it, but his Fire Blast does like a decent amount, and I'm like, okay, I'll just get up some recovery, as I know he's going to Fire Blast again, and I need to stop lagging. Jesus fuck. So he Fire Blasts again, and he misses, but it's totally fine because I was the Diancie, so I just tanked that anyways. I go into my Rotom here on the Flash Cannon, predicting that to happen, and yeah, it's just basically some pretty nice pivoting right there, so that I'm able to get into the position I want to be in. However, I kind of just throw that all away. Just throw that all away with my Volt Switch play right there, as opposed to going for Shadow Ball. And now just 1,000 arrows here, and that does quite a bit to my Donphan. So I'm a little bit like bothered by the damage, but it's overall like all right. It's not like awful. And here, I'm just gonna go for the Ice Shard on the Zygarde because I don't want to take any more damage. But now the Celesteela comes in, and I'm like, okay, I have to Roar here, because if I don't Roar here and he Autotomizes, that could be a very bad position for us. So I just Roar there, and in comes the Rotom, and I'm just like, okay, I can just Ice Shard here again. And yeah, he's going to go for the Foul Play, and I'm like, alright, so that's a little bit interesting. So that just kind of means I can get my Medicham. This thing's pretty safe. Even if he Scarf, Foul Play will do not that much to me. Mainly because Pure Power, I don't know how that works with Foul Play. I don't think it works like, I think that if you're Pure Power, it goes off your actual based attack and not your Pure Power based attack, so that's pretty cool. Nice for mons like Medicham and Diggersby, obviously. I go into my Diancie here. I know he's probably going to HP Steal, but if he specs like I think he is, then Celesteela will be able to come in on that HP Steal anyways, so I'm cool with that. But I actually go Rotom here as opposed to the Celesteela. This lets me cover a possible alternative Celesteela play, as well as the fact that this is the Scarfer here, so totally cool with that. And yeah, he just Blizzards here as I Shadow Ball, try to get off a little bit of damage on this thing. But overall, it's totally fine. Oh no, I was Dragonium Z on my Kyurem. That's why I didn't go into it at all this match until like later. But yeah, I go into my Medicham, and I just fire off a Bullet Punch there, and I'm like, okay, nice. So this thing always gets a kill. That's what I love about Medicham. Just so many situations where it can get really nice kills. Just the mon that it is. It's so cool. But yeah, so in comes the Swellow, and I'm like, alright, so I can just go into my Diancie and take the Boom Burst. I'm not going to take it well, but I'm just going to be sacking it basically at this point, so I'm cool with that. What this means is that now I would be able to go into my Celesteela after, but he actually just ends up going into his Ninetales, so I'm unsure about why he did that, because I think he might have needed the Veil for a possible shot at winning this game. However, I think at that point it was just kind of over. I had enough tools in the back to make sure that I didn't just lose this game. And in comes KB, big bad KB, and I'm like, alright, so Ice Beam's going to come out here, and we should be good to go. But Extreme Speed is going to actually do quite a bit to me. And what this means, yeah, I was Dragonium Z. So what this means is that the Boom Burst is actually going to be able to kill me from here, which is a little bit nerve-wracking, but like I'm alright, because that I still have my Celesteela in the back, which should be able to take the hit and then KO this thing with a Heavy Slam. So we'll just see how that goes. Even with a crit, it should not be able to kill me. And bada bing bada boom, we are currently 4-0 plus 10 in our first pool. I didn't even kill it. The hail killed it. But yeah, 4-0 plus 10 in our pool. So that's really good. I feel like a really nice thing about our first couple of games is I didn't reveal too many secrets that I have with some of my mons. Didn't use Autotomize Celesteela at all in these first couple of games, which is really nice. Means that could be a possible, like, more of a surprise factor that people are going to know I like using it, and I just accidentally did that. But yeah, coming up next we have this game right here, which I guess, fuck it, I already fucked that up. I guess this is kind of my shitty segue, but yeah, so this is our Pool 2 game, our first Pool 2 game, and we are up against Nathan 401. Now, I don't know much about Nathan 401, except for the fact that he brought 2 pincers in a in a bracket game for a tour once, but all jokes aside, he seems to be a good player with a pretty good draft as well, so hopefully that does end up being, like, nicely in our favor, or but, like, I don't know what I'm saying. Basically, I'm hoping that, like, that doesn't, like, end up pressuring us too much. You guys can see he has another Kogo Luchacore, however, I think it seems a little bit better with it than the other one versus me. Ferrothorn's just a really overall annoying Pokemon, and I've already kind of revealed some tricks for the Kogo Lucha. I've got my same Rotom that I had last time, just because that's mainly there for Kogo Lucha. It's a really nice Kogo Lucha response overall. I've got Diancie as my immense response. I've got nice offensive Medicham. Got sub Autotomize Earthquake Heavy Slam Celesteela, so nice to see Autotomize for once. ICMZ Kirim and Donphan the Goat. So I'm just going to lead. I keep on lagging. God damn. I'm just gonna lead right off of my Medicham. And I'm like, okay, so this isn't that good right off the bat, but what I can do is I can just fake out here, try to get off a little bit of damage, and I realize that that's definitely pretty defensive Mesprit, so understandable considering that it is obviously a Mesprit versus this team. And you guys are going to see this early game, I really don't play that well, so I go into my Donphan here as he goes into the Ferrothorn, and I just make a really boneheaded play, and I just go for the Rapid Spin here. I definitely could have just done that later and not had to worry about it, but yeah, it just, like, my prep was just kind of weird this game. Oh, that's a nice yawn. Oh, need to get that out. But he just, what am I doing? He just Leech Seeds here, and I'm like, okay, I can just Volt Switch, or just regularly go into Celesteela, because I thought he would protect or something there, but he actually goes into his Camelton, and I'm like, oh, shit, so now I have to go Kyurem, because that's the only thing that'll take a hit from this thing, and, yeah, in comes Kyurem, and I'm like, Fire Blast, don't kill, please, and I'm like, yes, it didn't kill. So now, what this means is, now I get a kill with my Freeze Shock, and it's the camera up, so I'm like, beautiful. I fucking hate camera up. I love camera up, but in this matchup, it's actually pretty good versus me, so I was really happy to see that that thing was out of the way. But now, Kyurem's just kind of as good as dead right now. Luckily, I do see that he is a Life 4 Palucha, or Coco, so no Scarf to worry about, so that's pretty good for me, and I go Diancie here, and, yeah, he goes for a Hydro Pump, and he gets a crit here, and it does 83% now. That's annoying, but at the same time, he would have killed me with 2. However, he actually doesn't kill me with 2, and he instead just misses, and I get off the Moonblast. So that's wildly unfortunate for my opponent. Definitely changes the way this game turns out. Chances are, with this thing having whatever it had, I would have looked for an opportunity to get a Drake, to make it get off a Draco if it had it, and then go into my Celesteela, because if not, the only way he kills my I have Ice Punch on my Medicham, and he told me after the game he was Yachi Berry, so after that, the only way he even kills my Medicham is with, like, an Outrage, or something like that, because I believe this thing is not his Emon. No, it is. I think I was just gonna bait for the Z move, but, regardless, I get off that big damage, and, yeah, it's just kind of, a lot easier to deal with now. And here I just fake out because I don't want to risk anything, like no reason to at all. And then now I believe the Coco comes right back in because now I don't have to switch into this thing at all. It's just really good versus my team, like the rest of my team. So I'm like, alright, so how do I win this game? I need to apply some weird pressure versus him while also while maintaining my defensive mons as well. And here I just go for the fake out. I have to at this point, and I'm like, alright, so this is kind of an opportunity I want. I want to make sure that I can get in my Rotom and stuff, and still, like, not be that passive versus him. And here I'm like, alright, so he goes for U-turn. This means that from here, nothing's going to be able to kill me with just anything. So I Volt Switch here, and in comes my Medicham, and I'm like, alright, sweet. So What this probably means is I'll be able to get off a Drain Punch right here or a High Jump Kick if I need to, but I actually just Drain Punch here and kill the Ferrothorns. That's pretty beautiful. So I'm pretty good with getting rid of the Ferrothorn. However, he still has the Coco Lucha and the Mesprit, so definitely like not over yet at all. I have to sack my Medicham here because I need Rotom to be able to take the hit I want it to. And yeah, so now I go into my Rotom and I just have the Shadow Ball here. Nothing else I can really do, but I'm totally cool with that because this means this still like helps my Celesteela out a lot in the end for what I want versus the Hawlucha. And you guys are going to see now the Hawlucha is going to come in, and so if you were to go for a Throat Drop here, that would be a GG to him. He would definitely win this game. However, I know he's not gonna because I have the Celesteela in the back at full. There's no reason not to SD or High Jump Kick when I still have that Celesteela. Or, not High Jump Kick because I have the Rotom, but not to just like SD or something when I still have the Celesteela. So, he's gonna SD, and yeah, so I'm gonna Volt Switch here, and now you guys are gonna see I go into my Celesteela, and he probably thinks I'm gonna Protect here. Oh, but no, I'm gonna pull right back into my Rotom as I'm a Ghost type, and Shazam, we catch him on that play, and yeah, so what this means is we are going to pick up this win versus Nathan. So we did play that end game very well. The early game was definitely a little bit shaky, but the rest of the game was really nice, and yeah, that moves us to 1-0 plus 2. Good game to Nathan. Definitely played it pretty well, and yeah, so now that that's over with, I'll see you guys in the next match. Alright, so here we are at our next game versus C9 Zippy, and you guys can see this matchup right here, and you guys also probably see my pink boy right here, and you guys see I just destroy him with this if I do play my cards right, and I do believe I will be able to in this game. So that's something I have to keep in mind. Then for the rest of my mons, I just have some nice like offense overall. So let's just get right into it. So Medicham is going to be my lead of choice as it really just dents anything except for the Arcanine. So right off the bat, I have to switch it out, and that's something I really don't want to do this match, switch out my Medicham. But yeah, as much as I can prevent that, I will. And now Ditto's going to come out, which I thought was a little bit strange. I thought Scizor would come out, definitely. But no, it's actually just the Ditto. And yeah, so now I'm like, alright, so if he wants to get up his rocks, I'll just be able to Moonblast, get off a little bit of damage on this thing. If he is going to keep staying in. However, now on this turn, I know he's going Scizor, so I'm like, okay, well, I gotta make some aggro plays, so here comes in my boy, the Celesteela, and yeah, we do catch him on that. I want to play aggro this tour. I really like playing aggro on tours, it just makes me feel good. I don't know. So, what I do here is I Toxic the Scizor, and now the Arcanine is Toxic, so I'm already playing really well in this game, so definitely happy with that. So now I know my Diancie should be able to come in on this thing. Even if he's Iron Head, I'm not that afraid of it. If he's Iron Head, that's weird. And either way, like, Diancie's not that useful. Now that this thing has the Toxic off and the rocks are up, I now get in my Medicham like even more freely, so that's beautiful for me. So I will definitely take that any day of the week. Diamond Storm's going to come out here, and it's going to do quite a bit to the Slowking. I'm thinking it's more of an AV set, or a offensive set with max HP, and it turns out when I see Future Sight, that basically locks in my mind that he is AV or some shit like that. So Leech Seed's gonna come out here. He could either be AV or Rakan from where I'm concerned, and you guys saw that shit. Let's just see that shit again. Okay, Celestial's gonna come out here. Fucking boy, Future Sights. Then this motherfucker, he's wild, and look at this shit. He goes for fucking motherfucking Zap Cannon. Dude is crazy. Now, I don't know why I didn't bring like Fire Blast and then like maybe Signal Beam, but props to his ass for bringing fucking Zap Cannon. Unfortunately, it's a 50% chance to hit, so a 50-50 chance didn't get it. Oh well. If he hit it, I wouldn't even be mad. That would just be crazy. But yeah, but this means I can go to my Donphan, expecting possibly an Arcanine to come out, and yeah, that's exactly what he does. So I'm just kind of reading his ass like a book right now. Just, I don't know, I was just kind of in that mood, you know. But now Morning Sun's gonna come out. I can't, you know what else mood I'm in? The mood to not be able to talk, speak English, anything. The mood to stumble on my fucking words. But I get rid of the rocks. That's good. Stealth rocks are no longer on the field.
which means that now the only mon that can be able to get them up is going to be Nihilego or a Ditto that comes back in on this thing, because that's how we got it up the first time. And now he goes into a Scizor, and I'm like, alright, so I'll just be able to go right for the Diamond Storm, get off some big damage, get a crit, and that's unfortunate, but it shouldn't be that bad for him, depending on what moves I go for the rest of the game, because now Celesteela comes back in, and it's just kind of really nice as a pressure mon versus the rest of his team. So, Ditto's going to come in, going to be Celesteela, however, I know it's definitely, like, probably Scarfed, so I'll just be able to Leech Seed and then go into my Flamethrower, then go into my Greninja. The reason I did this is because it's obviously not like that good. Like, how do I explain this? It's not as good as a HP as my other thing. So I go Greninja here, and yeah, so Arcanine's just going to get Toxic, and this basically means that I can get a kill. However, I make kind of a weird play. I go for Sub here. And now I just kind of realized my mistake, because if he's Scarf Volt Seed, I have to switch out because obvious reasons. So he's actually not, though. He's just Life or whatever banded crit Breloom. So Mach Punch gonna come out here, keep on coming out, but I'm totally fine with that. I just Heavy Slam does very little considering that it is a Celesteela and a Breloom. So gonna have to start running that offensive Celesteela more if I want to do a lot of damage to different mons, but that's just something to note, honestly. So yeah, Arcanine is going to come out here, and we are just going to get off the Ice Punch, and now at this point what we can basically do is with our Medicham we can just kind of start racking up some kills. Thunder Punch going to come out here, bop the Arcanine, and now looking at the rest of his team, he's kind of losing a lot of his mons for this thing. Ditto's going to come out here, and I'm like, alright, so now I can just go right into my, why is the Sprite not there? I don't know, but I can go into my Diancie on the high jump kick, or whatever he wants to go for, because that means that I'll be able to go into my Medicham next and just kill off this thing. So I'm good with that. Definitely like pretty alright with this. I have the Bullet Punch for the Nihilego, which is basically an Oko, which is amazing. Really nice to have that kind of like tech in the back. So here I just go for the Ice Punch, I believe, yeah, and Breloom is just gonna die. So Medicham putting in work, getting 2 kills right off the bat, and definitely gonna probably be more to come. And now he goes into this thing, and I'm like, okay, so I should be fine. I just Bullet Punch here because I am Scarf Kyurem, and Scarf Kyurem is still really good versus him, so I'll just Bullet Punch there, get a crit, and now I don't know why I like... no, never mind, I don't. I just go for the Thunder Punch here because even if he's Wakan, I think I just killed from there. So, Thunder Punch gonna come out there, kill off the Ditto, and now the Slowking's gonna come back in, and I had this feeling that if he was Wakan, it would not be able to kill from here. So I just go for the Kyurem switch as he goes for the Future Sight, and I'm like, alright, so Fusion Bolt's now basically just gonna nab one every time. And it's actually not Wakan, so I would have just been able to win with my Medicham right there. But nothing you can really do about that, because now he just goes into this thing, and this Bullet Punch does not actually take out Big Bad Kyurem. And yeah, so that means that now my Medicham will just be able to win the game, and if it doesn't, for some reason, then my Donphan will just be able to kill off the Nihilego. So very nice game versus C9 Zippy. We are now overall, I think 6-0, plus something. 6-0 plus 15. 6-0 plus 15 right now. So that's really nice for our seeding so far. So hopefully that we'll be able to continue on to our next game, and we'll just see. Okay, so here we are with our final game of open pools. At this point, we were confirmed for brackets. However, I did definitely want to make sure that my seeds were okay. At the same time, I did want to bring a team that I could have a lot of fun with, and I'm definitely, like, either way, I've been having a lot of fun with this team I have in general, but I think that I can have even more fun. So let me just show you guys this shit. So let's get in slow motion. I don't have like a lot of heat, but I have one really funny heat set, so let's just check that out. Kyurem's gonna come out as a lead, and Amoonguss is gonna be there, and I'm like, okay, fuck this, just gonna Ice Beam. I don't care if he's Spore. Got the young Sleep Talk, so that's totally cool with me. Ice Beam's gonna come out there, and I did the calc, and that is a more offensive Tyranitar, or that's a more like bulky Tyranitar. I don't think it's thing Scarf, so I'm just like, fuck this. I don't care if he's Chople. Yeah, I don't give a fuck. I'm just gonna Focus Blast your ass, and I get it out of there. Like I said, this game didn't matter that much, but yeah, I just fucking go for that, and yeah, it worked. So what can I say? And now the stealing's gonna come out here, because this dude's a god and predicts my ass turn fucking 3, gets my ass right out of there with the fucking Diancie. But that's totally cool. I still have my Dawn fan, so this thing will be able to take 2 hits from this thing because I am a more defensive set, and I'm just going to get up my stealth rocks, so that is alright with me. The only way of getting rid of them would be this thing and the Lando, I guess, and neither of them are that good of defoggers versus me, so I'm like totally cool with that. Alright, so in my household, I'm like always interrupted, but let's just go back to where we were. He goes Amoongus, and I get a crit with the Earthquake. That's a little bit annoying for him. Means that now regen won't be able to get back as much as it would have before, and I will be able to kill with the next Earthquake, so I'm just going to go for that. And yeah, so Earthquake does very little to Slowbro because it is a Slowbro. But the nice thing about Slowbro is this generation, it's just so passive. That's why it just really fell from grace in general. So now I'm just going to be able to go into my Kyurem. He goes for Scald, does not burn me, and I can get off a Shadow Ball. Shadow Ball will be able to kill something like no matter what on his team. And it turns out it'll just be this Zard right here. So Shadow Ball is just going to come out, and it actually just does not kill the Zard. Does not kill the Zard, and instead just leaves it at pretty low HP, and now he's just going to go right for the Roost, and I'm totally cool with that. This means that I'll be able to probably just still get off an Earthquake, and yeah, that's what I do. He gets a crit on the Donphan, which is alright. I don't really care that much. Donphan's not that needed this matchup. It's nice for Deblade, but I still have a lot of counters to Deblade in the back, so I'm all good with that. Landorus T is going to come out right here, and I'm just like, alright, you can catch this quick Ice Shard before I die, and that is exactly what he does. And he Earthquakes here, and now I'm like, okay, pussy. I didn't say pussy. This guy's not a pussy, but I just said, all right, boy, you're not scarfed, but I'm scarfed. So Scarf Greninja coming in, Ice Beam, Shazam, 34%, and the freeze. Hell yeah, fuck yeah, I get the freeze. It's pretty annoying, which means because it means he can't switch out. But overall, like the freeze, it's not gonna change the game that much. So here, I decide I'll just be able to go into my Celesteela. Celesteela is pretty nice versus this thing. It actually goes into Landorus. And I'm like, alright, so Heavy Slam I'll just be able to do here. I'm Sub-Seed Heavy Slam Earthquake, so that's pretty good versus him. So Heavy Slam's going to come out here, do a little bit, and now he doesn't have Rockium, so I'm just going to kill this thing off with the Heavy Slam as he just gravities. So I don't know why people have been doing that versus me. I'm trying to set up with this thing when I still have my Celesteela and shit. But I don't know. It's just weird. So yeah, I just sub here, and Scald is going to come out right there, and it just does nothing, and I'll just kind of spare you guys this like long end game. You could be in preschool and realize that I've won this game from here. But yeah, so that was a pretty good game versus Jock, and we went 7-0 plus 18 in our pool stages, which I thought was really nice to have. Looks really good for us because that means that we're going to get a pretty good seed, more than likely, in the brackets. So yeah, so we just got to kind of hope for that as we go into it. The brackets are the big part of the tournament. That's the part where it all kind of like really matters, and so I'm very excited for the brackets. However, just like a spoiler, I did have a lot of like tension going into the brackets for a couple of different reasons. One of them was because I was like looking at the I was like on a time crunch. I had something I had to do that exact day that I didn't realize I had to do. So yeah, that's just gonna be like all right for me. And I'm like super congested. Sorry about my voice this battle. But yeah, I will definitely show you guys my bracket replays. Those are the most interesting part overall. So I hope you guys enjoyed these replays right here, and you guys are gonna see. I'm just gonna end this off right here. I go into my Metacham. I've got the Calm Mind Tech boy, Calm Mind Metacham. Calm Mind Metacham with the young Shadow Ball, as he has his own Shadow Ball, but that's no match. No match, boy. We are Calm Mind, so we just Shadow Ball you ourselves, and Shazam. Slowbro takes a shit ton, and that means that the Greninja or the Kyurem will come in, and it's the Kyurem. So Shadow Ball, goodbye. But yeah, so now is when the real part of the tournament like really starts. The big, super intense competitive part. This was all really competitive too, obviously, but this like the best part, the part where like all the really good players are gonna come out to play, and hopefully I can be one of them this year, rather than last year where we just had like some bullshit. But anyways, Without further ado, this has been Techno, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace. Make sure you check out the video. I'll probably link it in the description.